Well, good evening, ladies. Thank you for attending our 74th session of Rhododendron Girls Day. If you would please rise as we have the advancement of our collars by our Girls Nation Senators, Alyssa Bumpus and Jessica Campbell. Please join me in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now be led in our national anthem by our senior counselor, Jen Simpson. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you the president of Wheeling Jesuit University, Father James Fleming.
Good evening, ladies, and welcome to our home. We are very happy to have you back here again for, I think, this is the 11th year? 15th? 19th, okay, so next year we're going to hit the full 20. 19 years when Girls State first came here. I doubt many of you were even born. We're very happy to have you here for the 19th year. And we're going to open with a short prayer. So let us pray. God of all creation, thank you for all the gifts you've given us. In particular, we thank you for the energy, the wisdom, and the love that these women share for their friends, their country, their families. Bless their hearts that they may be touched, their minds that they may be opened, and their spirits that they might be raised. And we ask all this in God's name, amen.
Amen.
I will tell you that Wheeling Jesuit University has the highest graduation rate of any university in West Virginia. We've held that distinction for 7 years now. This year, the valedictorian was a woman. The salutatorian was a woman. The 3 honors students with the highest grades were women. The highest ranking student who graduated in the doctoral program in physical therapy was a woman. I think you have to go down the list about 10 before you find a guy. So you are following in some big footsteps, and you have big shoes to fill for the women who have come before you here on campus. We also know that I like to think of this as the decade, the political decade of the women. We know we have a female senator. We're very proud of our senator. That whichever party you belong to, we have for the first time in the United States have a woman who is the candidate for president for one of our two major political parties, and that is no small feat. Ladies, we are so happy that you're here. We want you to come back again more and more, and you're invited to come back here and stay for 4 years if you'd like. I know that the admissions folks will be here to talk with you this year. We have some outstanding programs. Last year we had 100% placement rate in medical school for our pre-med students. We're very proud to say that 9 months after graduation, we relocated our graduates, and 95% of them, all but 5%, 95% of the graduates 9 months out told us that they were in jobs or they were in grad programs for which they needed their Wheeling Jesuit University diploma. So we have a very strong placement rate. It can only improve. And given the track record of women here on campus, it can only improve with more women here. So we would love to have you here. If you think about it, contact me at president@wju.edu if you want to talk about coming here. I can hook you up with one of the admissions folks. I hope you have a wonderful week here, or 2 weeks? 1 week. I wish it were 2, but it's 1 week. And the best thing is there are now more women on campus than there are cicadas. Thank you very much, ladies, and again, welcome.
Thank you, Father Fleming. Well, ladies, it is my honor to stand before you as Director of Rhododendron Girls State, because I want to congratulate each of you on being selected to attend our program, which is sponsored by the American Legion Auxilary. This is one of the premier leadership programs in the country, and every state in our country has either a Girls State or Boys State program. Only a select few get to attend these programs. You are one of those few. So again, I congratulate you. I know you're feeling a little anxious right now because I too felt that same feeling many years ago. But what I'd like for you to do right now is I'd like for everyone to just take a deep breath and exhale all that anxiety, because we get it. Not only did I attend Rhododendron Girls State many years ago, but your JCs and many of your senior counselors have attended Girls State, so they know exactly how you feel. But if you don't want to take my word for it, this next young lady that I'm about to introduce was sitting in your shoes this time last year. She had those same anxieties, but she decided to rise up, be her best you, our theme for this year, and she decided to run for governor, and a very successful campaign she ran, because she became our 2015 Rhododendron Girls State Governor. In addition, she was our West Virginia recipient of our Samsung Scholarship. She went in with 98 other Boys State and Girls State winners in our country for the chance to win one of 10 $20,000 scholarships. She indeed was one of the 10 who won a $20,000 Samsung scholarship. And ladies, she is going to put that scholarship to great use, as this fall she will be attending Boston University and she will be studying biomedical engineering. Ladies, please give a warm greeting for someone you will see a lot this week, our Governor, Katie Mossberg.
Actually, that just took me back to last year, and I was standing here right after you don't care. It's okay. Good evening, and welcome, citizens of the 2016 session of Rhododendron Girls State. You have an amazing privilege to be here for our 74th session. And welcome to what could be one of the absolute best weeks of your life. I know it was for me. Like she said, I'm Katie Mossberg, and I will be serving as your governor this year. I'd like to start by thanking everyone who possible for all of us to be here, including me. The American Legion and the American Legion Auxilary are the reason this program exists, so you have to make sure you thank them because we wouldn't be here without them. None of the amazing things that are about to happen would be fathomable without them. And all of these men and women are either veterans or have someone in their family who served in the military, and their dedication to honoring that sacrifice is what brings us together this week. Mrs. Michelle Servat and Dr. Rosemary Thomas are your directors for the week, and they have put countless hours into making sure this can happen, along with our staff and our counselors who are all very excited to be here. The program they so graciously and sometimes painstakingly provide for us has the ability to change your life in irreversible and amazing ways. Their utmost dedication makes it possible and creates an inspiring environment that I love. They are giving up a week of their time and making great sacrifices to be here with you. The Wheeling Jesuit staff has also been very gracious in welcoming us and allowing us to come back every year. And this transformative experience would not be possible without them either. This experience is what it is because it is based on young women learning together about the sacrifice that our veterans have made for us. None of the things we take for granted would be possible without them and their utmost commitment to God and country. It is my hope that we will utilize this freedom to foster a generation of strong, independent women who will be the leaders of tomorrow. Girls State is one of the first things that can and will catapult you into being one of these women, as you will learn about leadership, not only through the very important classes taught, but also through the examples set by the directors, counselors, and all of the girls sitting around you. You will soon learn that you are currently among the brightest young minds in West Virginia, and each one of you is going someplace big. You have the potential to be some of the most influential leaders of tomorrow. In fact, Forbes releases a list of the top 100 most powerful women this year, which I learned about while in DC last week, another opportunity provided to me by the American Legion as a Samsung Scholarship winner. Even though I thought I had fallen asleep watching Friends on Nick at Night, I somehow woke up and I was on a news channel and I was watching The View, and they were discussing this list, and I felt very official in the middle of our nation's capital, listening to a talk show discussing powerful women. But I was disappointed to find that the overarching opinion was that these women were not well liked. I heard the words ruthless and cutthroat, and I was disappointed. The prevailing question was why? Because apparently we're under the impression that cold-heartedness is crucial to advancement, but that is wrong. As women, we are called to band together in the face of adversity and be kind, humble, and supportive of one another, and not to tear each other down. I find that it is more important to be a good person than to hold a position of power. I hope you all do your best to get the most out of this week that you can, but if we as women with great potential destroy each other to accumulate great power, we will never shatter the glass ceiling that is above us. We as a collective force will be infinitely more powerful than any one individual can be on their own. But that can only be accomplished by supporting and helping one another along the way. Start that this week. I would not be standing here before you were it not for the countless citizens who supported me throughout the week last year, who also became some of my best friends. Even if you don't choose to run for something, I hope you will get involved somehow. Please put yourself out there. You will make lifelong friends at Girls State if you choose to do so. Because I can stand up here and tell you over and over again that Girls State was one of the absolute best weeks of my life, and that it will change, and no one else can choose that for you. You have a choice here between being miserable or taking every opportunity presented to you and growing from it. I hope you take this chance to choose the latter and learn new things, meet new people, and become the very best version of yourself. You have 5 more days and everything to gain in that time. I would like to congratulate you because you are here. And that means that you are talented and brilliant, and you have so much to learn. And that also means that someone believes in you, whether it's your auxiliary, or your principal, or your counselor, or your family. There was someone who believes that you have something amazing to gain from this week. So if you don't do it for yourself, I hope you will put yourself out there and get involved, for that person who believes that you are amazing and you are going to do something great. It is such an honor to be here with you this week, and I thank you for your time.
We're almost officially going to get this party started. First, Governor Mossberg, I'd like to present you with your governor's key. I'm trying to trick you. Okay. And last but not least, I'd like to present you with your personalized official gavel. Please use it wisely this week. And now I turn it over to you.
It is now my honor to welcome Senator Shelley Moore Capito. Shelley Moore Capito was elected by the people of West Virginia to the United States Senate in 2014. She is the first female U.S. Senator in West Virginia's history and was elected with the largest margin of victory for a Republican in state history, winning more than 62% of the vote in all 55 counties. After serving West Virginia's 2nd Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives for 14 years and as a member of the West Virginia House of Delegates for 4 years prior, Shelley decided to run for Senate with the goal of being an even stronger voice for the Mountain State. She also saw an opportunity to restore order to a Senate stuck in gridlock for far too long. Senator Capito believes that the challenges of our day demand bipartisan solutions and cooperation across the aisle to advance legislation that benefits West Virginia and the country as a whole. Senator Capito serves on the Appropriations Committee, the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, the Environment and Public Works Committee, and the Rules and Administration Committee. This committee portfolio puts Senator Capito in a strong position to build on the work she began in the House and to fight for West Virginia coal, jobs, and families. On the Senate Appropriations Committee, Senator Capito brings West Virginia's voice to the table when our nation's spending priorities are determined. She serves as chairman of the Appropriations Committee's Legislative Branch Subcommittee. On the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, Senator Capito advocates for policies that protect vital West Virginia energy and manufacturing jobs and encourage investment in West Virginia's highway infrastructure. She serves as chairman of the Environment and Public Works Committee's Clean Air and Nuclear Safety Subcommittee. Senator Capito is committed to being accessible and responsive to the people of the Mountain State. She regularly travels the state to hear from and meet with West Virginians. A lifelong West Virginian, Senator Capito was born in Glendale in the Northern Panhandle. She holds a BS in zoology from Duke University and an MED from the University of Virginia. Senator Capito and her husband, Charles L. Capito Jr., reside in Charleston. They have 3 adult children, 2 sons, Charles, wife Laura, and Moore, wife Katie, and 1 daughter, Shelley, husband Colin Mathwood. They have also been blessed with 4 grandchildren, Celia, Charlie, Eliza, and Rose. Please give a warm welcome to Senator Shelley Moore Capito.
Really think I can add anything to what your governor's already said. I mean, that was one fantastic speech, Governor. I love seeing a female governor. This is just so great. And I hope it's not too long before the state of West Virginia sees their own woman governor. I think it would be a great day. It's always wonderful to be here at Girls State. I want to thank the American Legion. I want to thank the Auxilary. It's good to see Judge Wilson again. I haven't seen him since I got elected because I missed last year. Congressman McKinley and I have worked together for more than a few years, and so I'm really happy to be here. It's great to see my friends who have been, Irene, am I allowed to say how long you've been with Girls State? 49 years? Yes. And Betty? 45 years? At 64? 54, sorry. And Michelle, thank you for your leadership. And Rosemary, I'm calling them by their first names. I know you're not allowed to do that probably, but I'm going to do it anyway. And they do a great job. it's just a thrill for me to be here. I know you guys, and I realize there's some anxiety. Obviously, you've just been dropped off. You've already had your first elections, and you've got so much ahead of you, and you're at a beautiful spot here at Wheeling Jesuit. I think it's a wonderful place to learn and live and grow, and you're going to have a lot of that over the next 5 days. A lot of people ask me, how did you get into politics? Well, you know what? I was kind of raised in politics, more than just a little. My father was a six-term House of Representatives and a 3-term governor of the state of West Virginia. But I was born in Glendale. Where are my Glendale girls? I met them. There they are. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. And my kids went to GW. Do I have any GW people here? Just one? I'll have to, 2. Okay. Okay, that's good. And I've had the privilege of representing the state for more than just a few years. Being the first woman senator from the state of West Virginia is something I am exceedingly proud of. You know, West Virginia has our challenges. We know what they are, and we're fighting every day to make West Virginia better for you all. So that, and you're going to do this in the next generation so you can raise your families here. I mean, you all are going to be telling stories all week about your communities, where you go to school, who your friends are, who your communities are, things you've done in high school. And you're going to realize, you know, West Virginia is a great place to raise your family. But you know, the reason I'm so proud that West Virginia has a senator from the state of West Virginia, because there's still 24 states that have never elected a woman. So West Virginia, let's give ourselves a round of applause. I think it's really in this time, and I meant to begin with this because many of you were driving over. I'm certainly were listening to the news today. And we've had a national tragedy in Florida. And there's a lot coming at you all. You're young ladies now, going to be seniors in high school. You're going to be facing a different world than I certainly faced when I was becoming a senior in high school and on into my adult life. So let's just have like a 10-second kind of, let's think about the victims and their families of that horrible mass tragedy in Florida, if we could do that. Thank you for joining me, and I know that our collective West Virginia hearts are certainly extended to our extended family all across the country, and certainly the same with Florida. So you're going to learn a lot while you're here. I hope you noticed in my bio that I have a zoology major. You're thinking to yourself, what does a zoology major do in Congress? I work in the biggest zoo in America, Washington, D.C. I thought the governor's statements were really good about working together and cheering for one another and hoping for success for our fellow female leaders. But I think it's interesting to note, I mentioned that I'm the first West Virginia senator. There are 20 now in the United States Senate, the most we've ever had. In the nation's history, there have been 1,900 senators, and 46 of them, only 46, have been women. So it's on you. It's be your better, what is it? Be your better you? Be your best you. And the reason it's significant for our country is because they did a study several 6 or so months ago that came out studying the governing styles of women and men. Now, David, listen up here, buddy. Guess what? Women work together better. We negotiate better. We don't like gridlock, we break gridlock better. We got into a big fight a couple years ago, imagine that. And the women of the Senate actually were the ones who broke the gridlock. We work across party lines, we get more women on our bills, we pass more bills than many of the men. I mean, it's just, the whole study showed, and maybe it's from things like this, things from Girls State across the nation that are teaching us the skills to develop our leadership, to appreciate our country, to work together to solve problems rather than be at loggerheads. So as the future leaders of this state and this nation, you're going to get a good head start today on how to be that leader, how to appreciate Americanism, how to work towards government, have elections. You know, I've been in, I can't even remember how many elections I've been in. I think my mom and dad had been in 35. I've been in, how many would that be, Mary Elizabeth? a lot of elections. They can be really fun, but boy, they're tough. And if you can public speak like the governor here, you're going to be in good shape, because that's a good skill to have to become a great leader. So I believe in what you're doing. And one of the things that I decided when I became senator was I wanted to try to create a legacy that would be good for West Virginia, particularly West Virginia girls. And when I heard your theme, be your better you, rise up, be your best you. Okay, I'm getting old, I can't remember everything. Rise up, it really struck a chord with me, because what I have done over the last year and a half, I decided I get a lot of compliments and comments from people who tell me, well, when your dad was governor, he did this. It could be lights on the ball field, it could be helping my son when he was a veteran, helping locate my husband when he was in Vietnam. I'm sure Judge Wilson, you have a story about something that my dad did. And it's a wonderful legacy for me, because my father passed away the day after I was sworn in, ironically enough. So I love having that. And I started thinking, if my daughter was walking around the state of West Virginia, what would I want? And you know what I'd want? I'd want a West Virginia young lady to come up to her and say, I heard your mom speak, and you know, it really inspired me to run for county commission, city mayor, governor of the state, Senate, House of Representatives. So I started an initiative with fifth grade girls. Now you all have already been through elementary school and middle school. You know there's a reason I didn't choose middle school, right? I remember that, and I had 3 kids that went through middle school. So I decided fifth grade was a good time to really get the girls, and the schools have been very cooperative. And we call it West Virginia Girls Rise Up. And I have 3 stools, or three legs to the stool. One is physical well-being. I like to run, I like to play tennis, I like to get out and walk. It makes me feel good, it helps me do better, it clears my mind, it gives me a chance to think. So we talk about how important that is for the rest of your life. We talk about education and how important that is, reading and your math skills and all the technology skills that you're going to have in front of you, and how important that is, and for me to develop into a public servant, what that means in terms of your education. But the last one's really the hard one, and that's where you're going to work hard here this week and take these skills into your senior year in high school, and that's building confidence. It's just hard, I think, for young ladies today and young guys to build that confidence and keep it. You talked a little bit about that in your speech, the governor did. And so we try to come up with confidence building activities for the girls, whether it's make a new friend, mentor a teacher, help at your church, volunteer, all the kinds of things that build confidence that's hard for you to really think about, like attending Girls' State. That's a great confidence building activity. So you girls are already on West Virginia Rise Up. You got it all going. I saw the videos. Obviously, physical activity is a big part of what you do today. You're going to get a great education while you're doing it, and you're going to have all this confidence when you leave, because you're going to know, win or lose in your election, you're going to know, I tried, I took the risk, I made new friends, I developed a network of friendships that I'm going to have for a lifetime. Now, this is probably lost on you today, but it won't be lost on you when you leave. The friendships that you're gaining today, the other young ladies that you're getting to meet, the mentors that you have in the junior counselors and your senior counselors, the folks that have been doing this for 54 years, they're going to instill you, and you're going to have the building blocks that you're going to need for the rest of your lives, for the next year, for the next couple of months. I'm just really excited for you. I'm excited for the country, for the state, for you, for all the girls in West Virginia and around the country who have such a bright future. I thought it was great when Father Fleming talked about all the stars at William Jefferson University. Was I surprised we were at the top of the class? No, that didn't surprise me. Last thing I'll say is, don't you have to develop legislation? Yes. Okay. We've got a big debate on that. We're going to have a big debate. We might not have it this year, but we're going to have it next year, on whether women should be required to register for the selective service, which means they could possibly be drafted in wartime. Now, my dad served in World War II. He was drafted. That means he was signed up by the selective service, When he turned 18, we needed men to serve, to fight for freedom, to do the things that our veterans have done, to sacrifice. Women weren't allowed to be in combat. Women weren't really allowed to serve in too many roles. And the young men were who served. They served in Korea. They served in Vietnam. It's a new age. 20% of the military is women right now. I just met an F-18 pilot who's been flying F-18s for the Navy aviation for 11 years. Remarkable talent. So I'm not going to tell you what side of the debate I'm on, but if you want to pick I think that would be a great issue for one of your groups to take up, whether women should be part of the selective service. And then write me and tell me and lobby me and tell me which way you think you'd like to go as the ones who go heavily impacted. So thanks for the honor of being here again, and good luck to everybody. And thank you, Governor, for your eloquence, for your, I have a feeling we're gonna see the governor like more than just here at Girls State, okay? I'm just gonna let you in on a little secret. But and anyway, you all have a great week. Have fun too. I mean, it's supposed to be fun, so have fun.
Thank you, Senator Capito, for being here with us and for speaking. I now have the privilege of introducing Congressman David B. McKinley. Congressman McKinley has represented the 1st District of West Virginia since January 3rd, 2011. He is a proud 7th generation West Virginian and a native of Wheeling. After graduating from Purdue University's Civil Engineering School, he worked in the construction industry as a certified professional engineer. Congressman McKinley is the founder of McKinley & Associates, an architectural and engineering firm with offices in Wheeling and Charleston, West Virginia, and Washington, Pennsylvania. Over the 44 years that Congressman McKinley ran the business, he created hundreds of jobs. As one of 2 professional engineers in Congress, he has a seat on the Committee on Engineering and Commerce, where he has been active on issues related to the coal industry, environmental regulation, energy efficiency, and healthcare. He serves as the Vice Chairman of the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations. Congressman McKinley is married to the former Mary Gherkin from New Martinsville, West Virginia, and they are the proud parents of 4 children and 6 grandchildren. Ladies, please join me in welcoming Congressman McKinley.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Katie, for that introduction. Listen, apparently Shelley got out a little quickly. Now, but here's the point. She's only been a senator now for a little over a year and a half, but she has done such wonderful things in the Senate so far. Politico magazine, one of the newspapers we get over on the Hill all the time, they're already pushing her to be the Vice President of the United States. Since we had someone being considered for such a high office, and it's even greater with someone that we know and we can associate with, like Shelley is. So thank you very much for that recognition for her and for what she's going to be able to accomplish with it. And I had a chance to meet Katie last week when she was in Washington for the Samsung American Legion Award. To think there were only 10 out of the country who got the recognition, and we in West Virginia got one of them. So my hats off again. One of the things that I particularly liked about Katie when she introduced herself to me, that she wants to go into engineering. Well, that's what we need more of in Washington. Remember, as you just heard in the introduction, there are only 2 engineers 2 licensed engineers in Washington in the House. But there are 242 attorneys. Now, like Seinfeld said, not there's anything wrong with that, but when we're dealing with a lot of issues, like Shelley mentioned about the zoo, Just think about some of the problems when we're talking about infrastructure and elsewhere, when we're talking about people that don't have an engineering background, that have never poured a yard of concrete, have never built anything in their life, but they're going to tell you how to do it. So it's a delight to know that Katie could go on and become an engineer. Maybe in biomedical, I understand that, but that's okay. That's still an engineering degree because we engineers think differently than most people do. So it's just an honor for me to be here with you today, and particularly Wheeling Jesuit University as well. Because my wife graduated from here, my grandmother was a dorm mother down here, my brother-in-law graduated from here. We've had all kinds of connections with Wheeling Jesuit, and I know it's just an outstanding university. And listening to Father Fleming when he was talking about it, I hope all of you will give that a little bit of a thought about this, because this is a wonderful institution, and it specializes in education and service to all. So I just think it's a great thing. So, but I also want to thank the counselors, the staff members, and the American Legion, the Auxilary, and everyone that's been associated with this, because Girls State's something very special for all of you. Think about the chances you're going to get. You've already heard about how you're going to get to interact with each other. And I want you to be thinking about that as you go through this week with it. Think about the people you're meeting, the person you're sitting next to today, and the person behind you. They're going to be people that you're going to run into later in life, and you just need to, it's good skills, it's networking that you're going to develop here. You're going to learn a little bit how this political process works. And when you figure it out, tell me how it works. Because I've said this is so unlike from an engineering and architectural practice, designing buildings, to go to an arena that we have in Washington with people from all across the country. It's very different than the process. So I think it'll be interesting for you to see your perspective on how it works. But more importantly, it's how to work together. Just working together. Because by working together, we work out different ways of solving problems and coming up with different solutions with it. You've already demonstrated by virtue of your being here that you're leaders in your school, your community, you have an interest in government, you have strong character that we're looking for across America, and you have desire. And I hope it's a sincere desire to continue in community and participation. And I particularly just want to thank all of you. So let me give you a round of applause for your being selected for this award, okay? When they told me your theme, Rise Up and Be Your Best You, that resonated with me. And I thought this could be interesting because it's certainly appropriate with it. We're facing a lot of obstacles in the country. And these challenges change dynamically over time. And we need confident leaders, people who know themselves, are comfortable in your own skin, to understand how you want to proceed with some of these issues. But we've got to find ways to solve problems, because the problems keep mounting up all around us. But maybe you are going to help us solve the next one, because what you're doing, once you understand it, you're actually solving problems for your children and your grandchildren. It's not about us anymore. It's always we need to keep the focus on what's going to happen after us, because we've had our chance. So that's where you all come in. Just think what all you're going to accomplish over this next week with learning and getting along and interacting with each other, having your own mock election. But what it brings to me is this best you possible. Let me briefly tell you about one of Wheeling's earliest, more influential citizens. Her name was Agnes Westbrook Morrison. She was born in 1854 to Irish immigrants that came to Wheeling. Agnes went on to Morgantown, and she became the first woman lawyer, graduate from the West Virginia Law School. Now I know there are a lot of women lawyers out there, and I served a lot of them in Washington, but back in that era, that wasn't the norm. For her to come, to rise up, she had to feel confidence in herself. She understood what she wanted to do. She had a goal and objective that she was trying to accomplish with it, and went on and did it back in those early years. So think about that. So she was clearly she was one of the West Virginia Law School was one of the first in the nation to admit women to be graduates, and she was the number one graduate from the law school down there. Now we know that she achieved quite a bit. She came back to West Virginia, into the Wheeling, and solved the Wheeling, served in a number of community organizations. She put to work what she had learned. She put to work what she believed in her heart, what was necessary to grow this Wheeling area with it. She started the Wheeling Collegiate Alumni Organization, and she sent a telegram to the West Virginia Senate. She got involved herself politically. by trying to force the West Virginia Senate to ratify the 19th Amendment. Now, you know the 19th Amendment was that giving women the right to vote. So she was politically active, involved in her career, and involved in the community. And that she was just a natural leader. And I think that's something we all, a true trailblazer, someone that we all can look up to. So that Agnes Morrison was someone that she did everything that she could possibly be. She wanted to be her best you. So remember, she didn't go to bed at night thinking about what her personal legacy or how she would be remembered. All she did each day was be the best Agnes Morrison that she could possibly be. That's all we can ever ask of anyone. Whatever I ask of my children, my 4 kids, they're all grown up now, or my 6 grandchildren, is just let me help you get the tools so you can be the best you can be. And don't be afraid. We all stumble. I've lost elections. I've had businesses that haven't done quite as well, but I believe in myself what we're going to do because of this community and this state. We're going to keep working at it. We're going to pick ourselves back up again and keep going with it. So she did the great things. She remembered what she wanted to be that best you. So as we give you time, you're going to remember as you leave here. You're going to remember some of the greatest friends you've ever met with us. And I hope you can enjoy it because that's really what a lot of this is about. Is not only doing what you're having to do, but enjoying it at the same time. So thank you to the American Legion, the Auxilary, and all those, the university, all the staff that's been associated with the folks that here that have been working with you all in the Girl State for years or decades on this. They understand the role that you can do, but you got to believe in yourself. Be the best you. God bless you, and thank you very much for having me.
It is now my honor to welcome Department Commander Kenneth Smith. Commander Smith was born in the Barbersville area of Cabell County, West Virginia. He graduated from Barbersville High School in 1960 and enlisted in the United States Air Force when he turned 18. He was assigned to the Atlas F Intercontinental Missile Squadrons in Altus, Oklahoma, and Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. Commander Smith returned home in 1964 using his GI Bill for further education benefits and began working for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in Huntington, West Virginia. He was temporarily assigned to the Marshall Space Center in Huntsville, Alabama, and also performed field recovery operations for FEMA after natural disasters destroyed several regions across America. He retired from the federal government service in 1998. He is an American Legion Paid Up for Life member of Barbersville Post 177 and has served the organization at each of the post, district, department, and national levels on various committees and offices. He has been serving as the State of West Virginia Department Commander since July 2015, while also serving on the National Security Council. He volunteers his time at the Huntington VA Medical Center in the Palliative Care section. He is treasurer for the Sons of the American Revolution in the General Andrew Lewis chapter in Huntington, West Virginia, and serves as a board member on the Society's state level. He is active in the operation of the Huntington Hub of Honored Flight to provide free transportation to Washington, D.C. for veterans to visit the war memorials. Commander Smith and his wife Charlena reside in Barbersville and are the parents of Becky, Philip, and Nancy. Their grandchildren are Justina, Alexandria, and Dakota. Ladies, please welcome American Legion Commander Kenneth Smith.
President Susan, citizens, board of directors, distinguished and honored guests, ladies, and a few gentlemen. Let me say hello to each of you and thank you for being here. I am very proud to be with you this evening and serving the American Legion Department Commander for the great state of West Virginia. Each of you have been chosen to be a citizen of Rhododendron Girl State, and it is my honor to congratulate you and welcome you to our outstanding program. The members of the American Legion Auxilary have worked hard for many months planning for this week to bring you this opportunity of a lifetime. And at this time, I do want to commend them for all that they have done to make this special just for you. Would you please give every one of them a hand, please? The American Legion Auxilary, as we all know, is the world's largest patriotic organization. It is in the spirit of God and country that they serve our veterans, the military members, and their families. The American Legion honors the service of those brave men and women who have protected our freedoms. You too, girls, can honor their service by always being responsible and informed citizens. The American Legion Auxiliary believes that educating our youth and members about the basic ideals and principles of patriotism will help ensure the survival of our republic. Some of you may already be members of our great organization. You may be a junior member. The American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary realized the need for teaching young women and men the responsibilities of good citizenship in the working of local and state governments. I hope you will take advantage of all that we offer you this week. The session just got started today, and it will wrap up sometime Friday morning. I do hope that all of the processing in went well for you as you reported here on the beautiful William Jesuit University campus. Rhododendron Girls State is an intensive week of government study and Americanism training, covering, among other things, the study of proper flag etiquette, the respect that the American flag is due, and a greater awareness of its importance and significance in American history. A flag ceremony is built into the schedule every morning and every evening, with all the staff and citizens attending. I'm sure it will have a special meaning to you also. As you know, you were chosen for your accomplishments, and with that, you have the opportunity to meet many more young ladies that have also excelled in their own schools and communities. We hope that our Rhododendron Girls State program will be an important tool to help you to be that responsible citizen. The Girls State programs provide young women who have just finished their junior year in high school the opportunity to come together to study that city, county, and state government. It does enforce the understanding that every person is an integral part of the political process, and each has a responsibility to make tomorrow a better time, the world a better place, regardless of political and religious beliefs. It provides an opportunity for each of you to form a local government structure to deal with the problems and situations as they arise and to see the political process working effectively. You're assigned to the Nationalist or Federalist political party for a week. Neither we say is affiliated with the Democratic or Republican Party. You will begin to feel the energy and excitement building as you embrace your party's platform. Expressing your party spirit and cheering will provide the much needed support to those who choose to run for those political offices. I hope you will be attentive and enjoy the Assembly's presentations with the guest speakers from the political, business, and community service occupations. Rhododendron Girls State will provide you with the opportunity to experience some college living too. Meet new friends and expand your awareness of other people living in West Virginia. You've already been introduced to your senior counselors, one for each community and they are here to make sure that your week is safe and a fun experience. They are typically American Legion Auxilary members, and many are Girl State alumni. I think everyone's color-coded in some fashion too, I understand. But then there will be one or more junior counselors in each community. The junior counselors are Girl State alumnus who have came back to make sure you have an awesome experience this week. I know you will enjoy your party caucuses when you meet to set your party platform. Begin support for your party candidates and prepare for the parade later on this week. There, all the state candidates will be introduced for the general election that follows. I do hope you've completed the applications for the available scholarships that will be awarded during your stay here this week. You've heard about the Samsung $20,000 scholarship. We hope one of you folks will walk away with one of those. I wish you, each of you, the best success as you go through this week. Your being here will come with you on your record of achievements. I truly hope it is one record that you will be proud of and will engage others like you to follow. If you're one of the 2 citizens selected as Girls Nation senators from the Rhododendron Girls State, you can look forward to attending Girls Nation in Washington, D.C. later on in July. It is said to be a marvelous experience for the senators to represent West Virginia on a national government level. Those senators are selected from each Girl State program and convene with others for a week to elect leadership, craft, and debate legislation, visit the national monuments, and meet with their own home state representatives and senators. If possible, that week could be capped off meeting the President of our United States of America at the White House. But first, you must stay the course and participate in this Girl State program before you write down. I hope you will enjoy your stay and be involved. I also ask you to stay with us and don't go home yet. But most of all is to be proud of your accomplishments that you and the other girls with you will come upon during the next several days. I thank you for your time and attention. It is truly a pleasure to be here. Together, you will build your Rhododendron Girls State for 2016. Enjoy the experience that not many can have. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
It is now my pleasure to introduce you to the President of the American Legion Auxilary Department of West Virginia. Suffice it to say, without the American Legion Auxilary, none of this would be possible. The Auxilary promotes and supports Rhododendron Girls State year-round. President Susan Wade has recently assumed the responsibilities of presidency due to the personal illness of President Paula Booth. As your governor, I had the privilege of being with the state leaders during the Midwinter Conference in Morgantown in February. At this time, it became clear to me that this group of women were and are committed to young ladies across the state and beyond. President Susan, we applaud you for stepping up to assume the leadership of this most wonderful organization. We will do our best to make you and all of the Department of West Virginia very proud.
I was here last year, what Katie was referring I started my year this past July, or last July. I started early because our department president from the previous year had a stroke and had to resign early. So I finished her year out, that's why I was here last year, and now I'm finishing up my year. And it is a pleasure for me to be here and welcome you to the Girls State program. I have been blessed and honored to be the American Legion Auxilary Department President for West Virginia. I have traveled all over the state. I've met wonderful people. The American Legion Auxiliary has been a love of mine for 38 years, somewhere around there. But I know most of these ladies. I love them dearly. They're like my family. Department President, or Department Commander Kenny, he's done a lot of traveling also. Some we do together, some he goes one way, I go the other. But I have truly been blessed and honored. And each year, the Department President picks a special project. My special project was Rhododendron Girls Day. I picked this program because I believe in this program. I believe in the ladies that work tirelessly to make it the best they can. Katie, I had the privilege of meeting in February at our midwinter conference, and I was, like everyone else, blown away. She is a wonderful example of what we all would like to accomplish. I mean, she is awesome. There's not many words to describe that young lady. But anyway, you all have I want you to have a wonderful week. Get involved. Like I said, these ladies, they're great, all of them. They have worked so hard. And like I said, I believe in this program. That's why I picked it. I want it to continue forever. And I just want you to enjoy your week. Remember, it's what you make of it is what you're going to get out of it. So make new friends that you will have, that you could have for the rest of your life. And learn about politics. We need more women in there helping us. That's all I'm going to say on that. We are a nonpartisan group, so we don't pick sides. But anyway, I really, really appreciate being here. I thank you. I have a great week. Have fun. God bless you.
We now get to welcome Judge Ron Wilson. He's a graduate of Weir High School. He has a 1961 bachelor's degree from American University and a 1965 law degree from the University of Maryland. In 1968, he was one of 100 young lawyers to be awarded a U.S. Office of Economic Opportunity Reginald Heber Smith Community Lawyers Fellowship. After completing the educational portion of the program at the University of Michigan Law School, he was assigned to the Charleston Legal Aid Program for 1 year and the Neighborhood Legal Services in Pittsburgh for 2 years. Then Governor Jay Rockefeller appointed him to the bench in First Judicial Circuit, including Brooke, Hancock, and Ohio counties in 1981. He was elected in 1982 and re-elected in 1984, 1992, 2000, and 2008. Judge Wilson is a chairperson of the Judicial Investigation Commission and has presided over all asbestos personal injury litigation in the state of West Virginia since 2003. He has served as president of the West Virginia Judicial Association and was chairman of the committees responsible for revising the West Virginia judicial canons and updating the West Virginia Rules of Evidence. In 2004, he was named a West Virginia Bar Foundation Fellow, and in 2013, he was named Judge of the Year by West Virginia Association for Justice. He has had articles published in the West Virginia Lawyer, and his dissenting opinion in McDonald versus City Hospital was published in full in the Advocate magazine. Please join me in welcoming Judge Ronald Wilson.
The good news is that introduction is going to be longer than my speech. I'll have to make certain if I do this again, we cut it into about 1/3 of that, but thank you for the kind remarks. At this time, my official responsibility is to administer the oath to you, so you will be official citizens of Girl State. So if you would all please rise. All won't rise, but just those who want to become citizens of Rhododendron Girl State. All right, raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I pledge that I will support the Constitution of Rhododendron Girl State. That I will give my full support and cooperation to the Girls State staff. And that I will faithfully obey the rules and duties of a citizen of Girl State. To the best of my skill and judgment. So help me God. Thank you. Please be seated. I'm always afraid when I say that I'll screw up and say the wrong word, and everybody repeat it after me. But it is a pleasure to be with you this evening, and I want you to know that I am well aware that it is pretty tough to reshape the thinking of a 17-year-old young woman in a 10-minute speech. And after hearing the wonderful speeches that you have heard tonight, my goodness, it's quite an honor to you to have a United States Congressman and a United States Senator come to speak to you. Wonderful speeches tonight. Remember, you're nonpartisan. That means that you've got to treat men equally with women. So I'm not going to try to compete anymore. It's a pleasure having you here. Thank you for inviting me. Enjoy your week.
Okay, so now that you have all officially been sworn in as Girl State citizens, I get to use my fancy gavel to call this session of Rhododendron Girl State to order.